Every feud needs a big payoff, and every tale needs a satisfying conclusion. Otherwise, what's the bloody point, eh lads? There's one thing worse than a story that ends on a whimper, however, and that is one that simply doesn't end at all. Who threw pie at Kevin Owens? Anyway, WWE history is scattered with a shockingly large number of storylines that went unfinished and quietly vanished into the ether. I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture, and these are 10 unfinished WWE storylines that remain a mystery. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to stay notified. Ding, ding, done. Number 10. Adam Rose's Bunny. Adam Rose and his gang of merry rosebuds never ascended beyond novelty act status in WWE. Watch and learn, no way, Jose. But the company looked to be adding some intrigue to his story through the Bunny. After a December loss to R-Truth, Rose brutalized the Bunny, who'd been getting involved in Rose's pre- and post-match shenanigans. We'd never see the Bunny on WWE again, and after months of teasing, his identity was never revealed. Justin Gabriel later claimed that he had been playing the Bunny all along. Well, at least he won a Slammy, I suppose. Number 9. Kane versus Fake Kane. Luke Gallows has had an interesting WWE career, to say the least. As imposter Kane, he chokeslammed the actual Kane during an Intercontinental title match, and the two finally met in the ring at Vengeance. The match saw Fake Kane take the win, but the story came to an abrupt end the following night on Raw. Real Kane attacked the imposter, tore his mask off, and kicked him out of the building before we ever found out who he was or why he cosplayed as the Big Red Machine. Well, that was fucking pointless, wasn't it? Number 8. Just Joe. Joe E. Legend debuted as Just Joe, a pot-stirring miscreant who appeared in backstage segments to pass on fabricated messages and instigate arguments between other wrestlers. A bit like Jules does in the WhatCulture office. Joe pushed Dean Malenko a little too far on a 2000 episode of Heat though, and was soundly defeated by the Technical Wizard. He was eventually released from the WWE in 2001. It was heavily suggested that there was a reason behind Joe's actions. Unfortunately for Joe, the angle was dropped without a trace shortly after the Malenko loss, and Joe became just another face alongside S.A. Rios and professional asthma sufferer Gangrel. Number 7. The McMahon Lockbox. Shane McMahon made a headline-topping return to Monday Night Raw and demanded that his father Vince let him run WWE's flagship show. Shane's trump card was a secretive lockbox that he'd apparently held onto for years, and if the contents were revealed to the world, some of Vince's deepest, darkest secrets would be exposed. I dread to think what they might have been, considering what we already know. Shane lost to Taker at Mania and still got an authority figure role because reasons. But we never found out what was in the lockbox. When you play up the contents as something so important that Vince was willing to put control of his top TV show on the line, you have to pay it off. But WWE completely failed to do so. So what was in there? Over to you, comment section. Number 6. GTV. GTV was one of WWE's biggest storylines in 1999 and a big talking point throughout the Attitude Era. A series of grainy vignettes started appearing on WWE programming, displaying candid backstage moments featuring unaware superstars going about their business. Goldust was pegged as the original voyeur, but he was released and WWE chose to abandon GTV rather than switch it to another wrestler. Oddly, Chris Jericho later suggested that entertainer Tom Green was supposed to be behind GTV, but Vince McMahon saw Green's work, decided he wasn't funny, and canned the angle. And this guy knows funny. Number 5. HADE VANSEN'S Prophecy. HADE Vansen appeared on a December 2008 edition of SmackDown to cut a sinister, cerebral promo, claiming that he'd dedicated his life to studying the darkness and that he was coming to WWE to fulfill his prophecy. Vansen was being set up as an eerie cult leader figure. And then they abandoned the storyline 2 weeks later, and Vansen never appeared on WWE TV again. He's since claimed that the story would have involved him pitting a series of X-Men-like mutants against The Undertaker on a weekly basis, before eventually wrestling the dead man himself at WrestleMania 25. Number 4. $1 Million Mania. McMahon had just given $500 grand away in the absolute show that was $1 Million Mania when a series of explosions tore through the Raw stage, causing it to tumble down and fall on Vince himself. The incident kept McMahon off WWE television for 6 months, and $1 Million Mania was never revisited. My money is on Vince getting bored with the idea and just going, oh, f*** it, try killing me again. Number 3. Who raised the briefcase? Stone Cold looked to have sealed victory at King of the Ring 1999, but the briefcase, which contained a contract for a controlling stake in WWE, rose away from Austin's grasp before he could take hold of it. But who had raised the briefcase and cheated Stone Cold of victory? And why had they done it? The reveal should have been a huge moment in the Austin versus McMahon feud. But it never came to pass. It was implied that it was Bossman, but never confirmed, so it could have been this guy, or even this bloody guy. It seems insane that WWE could let such a huge issue pass without explanation. But then again, that was the Attitude Era for you. Number 2. The anonymous Raw General Manager. This angle ran for over a year before the anonymous GM was phased out in favour of Triple H and John Laurinaitis in 2011. Was it Triple H, Shane McMahon, or maybe even Vicky Guerrero? Who cares? Let's just say it's Hornswoggle, because odd little people funny, eh? Look at him in his waistcoat. Ha 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 ha. Laugh, damn you. WWE attempted to cover their tracks by shrugging their shoulders and rendering the whole affair one giant waste of time. It's only a year's TV wasted after all. Number 1. The Nexus. Arriving as a pack of dangerous and disgruntled NXT rookies in 2010, my best friend Wade Barrett and his gang of miscreants shook the wrestling world by literally tearing ringside apart and destroying everyone in the surrounding area. At its peak, the Nexus vs WWE storyline was as compelling as any invasion angle in the sport's history. But things reached a screeching halt when the group ran afoul of John Cena. Now, where have I heard that before? Multiple personnel changes followed, but CM Punk's singles success greatly eclipsed the stable's momentum, and the new Nexus was effectively dead in the water. Don't get me started on the bloody core either. The Nexus was one of the most exciting storylines that WWE have ever destroyed. Their effectiveness as a group was completely neutered by John Cena, and the success of Punk's famous pipe bomb promo allowed WWE to quietly dismiss the story without resolution. I still sometimes lay awake at night and wonder what Michael Tarver is up to nowadays.
Hello there, you've made it all the way to the end of the video, and as part of my designated 18 hours of community service, I'm here to tell you that we have a number of other channels available for you to subscribe to, as well as other slightly, possibly not related videos for you to watch. So please do one of the things to my left or right, otherwise I have to pick up leaves on the roadside.